actress trying to reinvent herself after marrying into royalty. And according to them, Meghan wasn't just participating, she was looking the part. Nothing new, right? We've all seen Hollywood do it.
There's something wild going on behind Selena Harrow's carefully polished image, and it's not just another glossy headline in a supermarket tabloid. Most people think she's just a stressed out former actress, a woman who reinvented herself after marrying into royalty. Maybe she's a little insecure, maybe her cosmetic surgeries were about fitting in, about looking the part. After all, we've seen Hollywood rewrite faces and stories 1,000 times before. But what I discovered in Toronto told me something else entirely. I sat down with someone who used to be in Selena's inner circle, someone who knew her long before the palace walls, before the charities, before the documentaries, and what they shared wasn't the fairy tale image the world has been fed. It was darker, wilder, a story of double lives, erased pasts, and a hunger for power that reshaped everything. Selena Harrow wasn't just surviving Hollywood, she was playing a long game, and no one, not even her husband, the prince himself, knew just how far she would go. Selena's story starts in California, the land of sun-drenched dreams and endless auditions. She wasn't born into privilege, though she liked to pretend she was. Her father was a quiet man, often working odd jobs, and her mother held the family together. Selena herself, she was different. Even as a teenager, people described her as someone who could change depending on the room she was in. With her school friends, she was the approachable girl next door. With theater kids, she was the passionate performer. With teachers, she was polite and ambitious. It was like she had masks, perfectly fitted, ready for any situation. And maybe that's what set her apart when she first tried acting. She wasn't just playing characters on stage, she was living them. She went to Northwestern, studied theater, and told everyone she was bound for greatness. But whispers from classmates say she had another side, a restless energy, a desire to be noticed, to be remembered. Some called it ambition, others said it felt like desperation. Hollywood rewarded her just enough to keep her chasing. A small role here, a guest appearance there, and then came her breakout and a spot on a legal drama that gave her name recognition. Selena Harrow was finally somebody, but even then, she wasn't satisfied. Fame in Hollywood was one thing. Fame across the world, that was the prize. And she was already plotting how to get it. On the surface, Selena was everything a rising star should be. Red carpets, photo shoots, carefully crafted Instagram posts with inspirational quotes about self-love and empowerment. But the people who really knew her saw another side. Loud, confident, sometimes reckless. She loved the kind of nights that stretched until morning, the kind that blurred lines and erased consequences. Her favorite haunt was Soho Manor, an exclusive club for the ultra-rich and untouchable. Inside those velvet-draped walls, rules didn't exist. Privacy was currency, and Selena thrived in that atmosphere. She wasn't just a guest at those parties. She was the one who kept them alive. She knew what people wanted, and she knew how to provide it. For some, she was the glamorous actress. For others, she was the source, the connection, the person who could make anything happen. It wasn't just charm, it was access. And in those circles, access was everything. Selena didn't stumble into power by accident. She crafted it. Bit by bit, she built a reputation as the girl who could keep a secret, the girl who could make your night unforgettable. But it wasn't just about the thrill, it was about leverage. The more she gave people what they wanted, the more they owed her. And the more they owed her, the harder it was to ever expose her. That's how she survived in a world where one bad headline could end a career, but it wasn't enough. Selena wanted more than fame and money. She wanted legacy, and for that, she needed to step outside Hollywood. She needed something untouchable, something royal. When Selena first crossed paths with Prince Adrian, the youngest son of a beloved monarch, it seemed like fate. A Hollywood actress meeting a royal bachelor. The press couldn't dream of a better storyline, but what most people missed was just how calculated Selena's moves were. Prince Adrian had a reputation. He was charming but restless, rebellious but adored. His nights in Vegas, his wild escapades, his complicated history with the press. It was all public knowledge. And Selena, she wasn't intimidated. She knew exactly how to play him. While the rest of the world tried to tame Adrian, Selena indulged him. She laughed at his wild jokes. She encouraged his freedom, and when the nights got too heavy, too dark, she made sure she was right there beside him. The one person he could trust when the world judged him. It wasn't long before he was hooked. To Adrian, Selena wasn't just another girlfriend. She was an escape, a partner in rebellion, and slowly she became indispensable. No, The palace didn't know what to do with Selena at first. She was polished, yes, but she was also unpredictable. They tried to mold her into the perfect duchess, quiet, poised, charitable. And on camera, Selena played the role perfectly. The interviews, the photo ops, the carefully staged public moments. But behind closed doors, she was still the same Selena from Soho Manor. Confident, untouchable, a master at compartmentalizing. Friends in Hollywood saw one version of her, the palace saw another. Prince Adrian saw whichever version suited the moment, and the party crowd? And they saw the Selena who never flinched when the nights blurred into chaos. It was like she was living 3 lives at once, and somehow she kept them all separate. People always noticed Selena's face. She called her features unique, something that set her apart, but over the years those features shifted. Her nose, once soft and wide, became sharp and narrow. Her cheekbones grew more defined. Her entire appearance seemed to change, like a new mask for each new chapter of her life. Officially, it was just cosmetic refinement, the kind of tweaks any Hollywood actress might make, but insiders whispered that it went deeper. What? Some of the changes weren't just about beauty, but necessity. The lifestyle she once indulged in had left its mark, and surgeries became a way to cover the evidence. Every birthday photo, every new public appearance seemed to reveal a different Selena. And the strangest part, people bought it. They believed in the reinvention, never questioning how one woman could transform so completely. If there was one skill Selena mastered, it was control. Not just of herself, but of her story. She told people just enough to make them feel close, but never the whole truth. She let the press write fairy tales, then denied the parts that didn't suit her. She erased old friendships, old connections, even family ties, all to keep her past from bleeding into her present. It wasn't reinvention, it was erasure. By the time whispers about her party days, her surgeries, her contradictions began to surface, she could simply say, "That's not me." And in a way, she was right, because that version of Selena had already been buried, but no one can hide forever. Slowly, people began noticing the contradictions, the interviews that didn't line up, the timelines that shifted depending on who was asking. One moment she claimed she never researched Adrian before meeting him, the next, she described his hobbies and tastes like she'd studied him for years. She said she was isolated in the palace, yet she was seen jetting across the world. Italy, Amsterdam, New York, sometimes while supposedly heavily pregnant. She preached transparency and authenticity, yet locked away her past in sealed records, leaving questions unanswered. Even the palace seemed to shift its stance. Once, their official site praised her academic achievements and charity work. Quietly, those details disappeared, leaving only her acting credits. It was as if they too were erasing the myth they once helped build. Selena Harrow had everything: the fame, the title, the influence. But the story of her rise isn't just about love or luck. It's about strategy, about someone who understood that image was power, and who was willing to rewrite herself again and again until she got what she wanted. She wasn't the naive actress swept into royalty. She was the architect of her own destiny, step by step, mask by mask, lie by lie. And the wildest part, people still believe in the fairy tale. They see the princess, not the player, the image, not the erasure. Selena Harrow is a mystery of her own making, a woman who lives in reinvention, who buries the past to protect the future. Some call it survival, others call it manipulation, but whatever the truth is, it's buried under layers of stories, surgeries, and silence. And maybe that's the real scandal, not the parties, not the surgeries, not the contradictions, but the fact that in a world obsessed with authenticity, Selena Harrow built her empire on illusion, and the world let her. Because in the end, we don't want the truth, we want the story, and Selena Harrow knows exactly how to give it to us.